Hello! Review time again, and we're going to jump in and try and get through a bit of backlog, and then do, well, it's still backlog, but something better. But whatever, here we go, and Transformers Titan Return, HardHead. There you go. And this is pretty accurate to the G1, really. I had the G1 figure, I got it second hand, it didn't have a head, it didn't have a gun, and the main cannon was ripped off. So, good times. But this guy is pretty much the same. That's his gun, you can't take that off. So you get that, and the gun kind of wriggles up and down a bit, but not much. And yeah, I mean, I miss being able to... Well, the thing is, there's a big double hinge in here. Okay? So technically you can do that, and you can get it up if you really, really want to. No jokes on that one, please. So you can do that if you really, really want to, but, you know, without messing with the hinge, you only get that, which isn't much. The off-center cockpit, which I actually quite liked, still there, and there's the little driver whose name escapes me. I think it's like Stylor or something, but that's probably Chrome Dome, because, you know, whatever. And, although you can't really see it, he's actually got blue eyes and a yellow face. They painted him! They painted him! You know, that's a miracle in itself. So just with that, he's actually exuding lots of character. Just by having a face painted, gives him a bit of character. So he's actually quite good, we like him. And he can stand on peg at the back here, or one on the front here, one on there, and another one at the back there. So he can stand there if he wants. Alternatively, there's another thing which I am not doing in the robot mode, but you can open up this piece here, and how's this go again? So it folds up like that into a big seat, and he can sit in there. Because tanks don't usually control the guns from inside, you've got to sit outside. Honest. Which is a bit stupid, and then you can put the other gun on top, so now we really can't see anything. Okay then, we'll take that out, close that up. Eagle-eyed viewers may be able to see from this a colour that shouldn't be there. That is to say, the little bits of blue in there. This is the same mod that I did with Highbrow, because this guy did not grip the neck at all. So I've just slipped a bit of a cheap blue straw in there, snipped it flush. Perfect. There you go. I mean, a little bit of green, who cares? Sorry, a little bit of blue, who cares? It's only a tiny little thing. So, transformation, which is quite easy, really. You turn him over, and you can probably guess how much this is going to work. The only thing I didn't get the first time is this piece actually folds down. So the first time I transformed him, there was a massive lump sticking out the bottom. Didn't quite realise this folds down. It folds down, and it still makes these sides look a little bit hollow. But, you know, whatever. Then you untab these. They go into the slot there, the big tab there. Untab, double hinge down, fold out the toe, leg done. Untab, double hinge down, fold out the toe, leg done. Untab this sort of waist section, because it just about tabs there, into there. Fold that all the way up. So you get that. Untab the front tracks with these, basically where the hinges there are. They tab into little hexagonal holes there. Untab that, fold all the way down, and without that coming loose, all the way down, and that tab goes into the bum. There's no way of saying it better than that. It goes into the bum. So that goes down there, and then you bring the arms down, and they basically extend, but there's a double hinge in there, so you just double hinge. And fall out of the hands. It's quite standard, it's really straightforward, it's, you know. So you do that. There he is. And you get his little dude. You fold him over, and hey look, it's his head. And that, just sorting his arms out, goes in there. Come on, don't fight with me. There you go. And like I say, it didn't grip at all when I first did it, and now it really grips. If you do this neck mod, as I said in the original, it's not Highbrow. I've forgotten his name. The other guy where I did the neck mod, I can't remember his name. Is it Highbrow? I think it could be Highbrow. You know what, I keep forgetting. It could be Highbrow. When I did that, it is really tight the first few times, and then after a while it does loosen up because the plastic gets used to it. You know, the straws. But it's fine, so don't worry about it. So there he is, and you know, you can use the double hinge to bring the cannon up. First time I did it, I was like, why is that hitting on the head? There's actually a slider. So instead of being over there, it slides over to there. So it will go down by the side of the head. Aha. And it, well, it pegs in to that hole there. So to a degree, you can wriggle it around, which is a bit awkward and a bit annoying. But there you go. He can have his shoulder cannon. Hooray! And you can give him his not terrible looking rifle. It's a reasonable amount of detail, you know, there's a butt, which he, you know, like a gun butt, which he can't use, but, well, can't really. No, he actually can't use it, because that little peg on the arm there, see that? That actually catches on the shoulder before it gets close enough for that to touch. So he can't even use it. But yeah, there he is, and you know, turn him around and show the gun, and there you go. Gun looks a bit hollow from underneath. I say the gun, the cannon, shoulder cannon, you know what I mean. Got the water symbols up there, and still no flap down tech specs, but you know, whatever. It's a deluxe. Who cares? And yeah, he's alright. I mean, plenty of articulation and everything, you know. Some of his joints were really loose. I have had to tighten them, but yeah. Now, he is a pretty decent rendition, update, and all the rest of it of HardHead. I can't complain. He's just really boring. You know, he's cool and he works, and you know, he's exactly what he should be, but he's boring. I don't know what it is. I can't bring myself to love him. I like him. He's good, but he's just there's nothing. I mean, once you get past the cannon, he's got a handgun, which you can still put in the cannon, which looks utterly ridiculous in robot mode. He's just there's nothing to write home about, which is a shame. It's just I don't know. Because he should be exciting, but he's really not. Because I really don't want the Quake repaint. That being said and done, let's get on to something which, you know, I'm biased, but here we go. It's TriggerHappy. Yeah, we're doing it. Ah, TriggerHappy. He's got landing gear. Look. Ooh. There's some tiny little round bits molded in there, just on top of my nail there. They're supposed to be wheels. And you got these wheels that fold in. And it's TriggerHappy, isn't it? It's amazing. I'm completely biased. TriggerHappy was always one of my favourites. I got a second-hand one which wasn't very good, and then eventually I got a second-hand one which was complete with the gun, which I can't find at the minute, but I have got. And he's just always been my favourite. Whenever I was a kid, I had him and Scattershot, and had them like leading opposite armies fighting each other because he's covered in guns and he's covered in guns. So I always loved this guy. Always loved this guy. And they've done an amazing job with this, like full on amazing. Just look how flat he is. I mean, even with these extra guns, which you can take off, just look how thin that is. You know, instead of like the legs hanging off underneath, they've done an amazing job. And yeah, the guns can plug under there. You can leave them on for transformation, but I'm just going to take them off for the sake of doing this. They do combine and all the rest of it, but who cares? It's trigger happy, man. Look at that. Oh, he is amazing. If anything, I'd say he's possibly too slim. I think half the joy was the clunkiness, but he's still stunning. If he was a woman, he'd be a supermodel. There's no question about it. Every man up in the world would drool over him. Even the ones who fancy other boys would still drool over. If this was a lady supermodel, yeah, just in the way, so you know. But yeah, absolutely beautiful. And yeah, the headmaster. And I found the best way of getting him in and out is actually to fold the nose out, because for some reason it doesn't like slide it in, because this grip here is quite tight on the sides of the legs. So he can come out. They've even put a little control panel in there. There's nothing on it, but it's there. There's a little display. And there he is, and there's no paint on him. Poor little fella. Not like his headmaster. His headmaster's got class, but this, nah, poor little fella. But he's a nice little guy, you know, standard headmaster fare at this rate. Sorry, Titan master. Then you fold him over and... yeah, that's the trigger happy we all know and love. No extendo head pop out from the back this time. The old one used to it'd be like there. You'd have to push it and it would unpeg and then pop up on a spring. And if the hook didn't work very well, it just stuck out the back. But who cares? It's trigger happy. Yeah, I love the cockpit. I can't wait to get hold of Misfire and Slug Slinger. Now they've been announced. I need the three of them. Even though Misfire doesn't look great, and they're both just using his legs, which I feel feels a bit... could have remolded them a little bit, but they've still got the same vents, but whatever. Transformation. Okay then, because this one's a bit of a beauty. First we're going to untab these pieces here from the back, and then you might as well just untab what are inevitably the arms, because it's trigger happy and that's what he does. This big tab here goes into that slot there where you can see the white through. Okay? And you've got to do this. Now I wish there was another way of doing it so it was a bit more tidy, but you kind of have to do this for the transformation, which is a shame. Because then you could say some really, really wide, silly looking gun ship, but don't. Okay. So you fold the nose down, and then you untab this section, which is these two tabs, which go into the sides here. Untab that, and fold that down. There you go. And then you might as well just fold it under a little bit more, just so it's like that. And you just get this whole piece, and turn it around. Which is just, you know what? And then you can kind of see where all this is going. You know what, let's do the arms to get them out of the way. So you fold the wing back. This is pretty much the exact same as the original Trigger Happy. You fold the wings back, fold the guns around, flip out the hands. That's it. That is the original Trigger Happy transformation. That's what it does. So I love that. So you fold the wings back, fold the guns around, flip the hand out. Okay. Now you can see what you're doing here because the guns aren't in the way. This piece is the legs and the waist. Okay? So you got to extend the legs, so facing straight out, and fold this piece up where it clips in. And then you rotate at the waist swivel. And then you fold under the toes, and the heels are right in there. They've got to be right in there for the transformation. So you fold them all out, flatten it out, fold it all out, make sure it's nice and flat. Separate the legs. Hooray! This bit is where it gets a little bit weird. You've got to fold this piece back over, but you've got to get that tab in this slot. this little groove here. See that little groove there? You'll try and get it into that groove there as you push this piece in, as you double hinge it in. Like that. So if you try and just double hinge it down and shove it back up, it doesn't go completely flush, there's still a gap. It doesn't seem to like doing it. So you hinge it up, get it in there first, and then close it down. And it goes better. And you just fold the cockpit onto the back. And that's the body. The body of TriggerHappy. And the head. And it just pops right in there. See, this one I haven't messed with at all, but it seems to fight with me sometimes. Don't rotate the headmaster. No, don't rotate. You're going in. Don't fight with me. Just because you're on the camera, you're showing off in front of your friends. There we go. And there he is. It's TriggerHappy. Ah. If I didn't want to get done by copyright notice or anything like that, I would be playing the Weird Al TriggerHappy song at this point, because I love this guy so much. And that's a good song too. And he's just beautiful. I'm pretty sure he was nominated like the best figure of last year by lots of people, and I perfectly understand why. And he's just spectacular. Just so nice. And you can... Which way do I have them? I think they go that way. You can still leave the guns attached to the wings. They stay there. You know, you can put them in the hands if you want. Is that right? Dunno. I had them a certain way around so that these bits wouldn't get in the way. But you can still, because every G1 figure, yeah, everyone who had the G1 figure did this at some point, you can still hold the hand in and give him a massive gun arm. Because you've got to. It's TriggerHappy. And you can have the extra little gun and the wing gun and all this. You've got to. At least once, you've got to. Now, the best bit about all of this, because I had the original G1 TriggerHappy, is that the original G1 TriggerHappy, the guns attached to the entire arm piece, and then there's just this tiny little bit on top that folded up for the arms. But now, they've actually attached the arms to all of this, and all of it bends. The original, the guns would stay there, and the little arm piece would fold up. So it looked a bit weird. This just looks amazing. It's one of my favourite figures. And when I get hold of him, I will do a review of him. But I just... I'll do a comparison if I want to. If I want to, yeah, I'll probably do a comparison. You can combine the guns if you want, and you probably get the guy to sit in it, but I'm never going to, because it looks stupid. And it's TriggerHappy, and he's awesome. So it's a shame, really, because HardHead, which is a much more beloved character as far as things go, you know, because he's an Autobot and everything else, he's just not as awesome as TriggerHappy, who in every version I've ever seen has just been an abject coward and just run away from pretty much every fight he wasn't guaranteed to win. But look at this figure. And I'm so happy Titans Return are doing these guys again, giving them the justice they deserve. I mean, as much as I've just bashed HardHead, he is spectacularly well done. He's just a bit boring. You know, he's a run-of-the-mill good guy. He turns from a very simple tank into a very simple robot. There's nothing amazing about him. He's got a shoulder gun. Whoopee. I don't hate him, he's just a bit boring. But TriggerHappy just steals the show. He always does. He always has done. He's always been one of my favourites. Beautiful, beautiful figure. I was going to do size comparisons, but I don't care. If you don't own this figure, just go and buy him. And he's pretty good too, I suppose. Well, that's gone on for 20 minutes because I spent quite a bit talking about him, and then I've just gushed over TriggerHappy. Not worthy. Not worthy. So, I should be ugly, I should be wretched, and I shall see all of you... Be good. See all of you in the next one. Bye bye bye.